Okay, I'm gonna do a very basic Mortal Kombat 1 tutorial because the arcade 1-up version of Mortal Kombat has come out now, and it's got Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on it, which is exactly what came with my Mortal Kombat arcade machine that I got back in 2000 off of eBay. It had Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I've since added 4 and vanilla Mortal Kombat 3 to it, but yeah, watching these videos, there's a lot of people who either didn't play much Mortal Kombat 1 or it's been forever since they've played it. I'm somebody who hasn't stopped playing it since '92, so yeah, there's a lot of little intricate stuff that you might not even thought about. So very first thing is that Mortal Kombat 1 is a 5-button game. So on your arcade 1-up, you're going to have 6 buttons. This run button only applies for Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, 5 buttons. So you got block in the middle, punches on the left, kicks on the right, highs and lows. So that's first off. And I will suggest that when you play, put your hand like this so that you can access all the buttons at once, instead of going single digit or something on it. That's going to come in handy. That's going to come in handy later when you play like Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 2, where you have to charge low kick as one of the special moves. So if you're doing that, then you're going to have a really hard time getting to your other buttons. So you want to kind of hold your pinky there. Same with Jax. He's got a move where you charge low kick and it does the earthquake. So you can still press every button. You can block, high punch, uppercuts, whatever, and then let go. And if you hold it like this too, when you play Mortal Kombat 3, you can do run with your thumb. So you can run in and still have access to all your other buttons. Or when you do certain fatalities, block, run, you just tap it out like this. So maybe I'm already getting ahead of myself, but let's go Mortal Kombat 1 real quick. And I'm going to start with Johnny Cage because Johnny Cage is the original character. When they were first planning this game and kind of figuring it out, Daniel Pesina, who also plays Sub-Zero and Scorpion, he's the first guy that they filmed. So I want to go ahead and just work with him. So the very first thing, before we get into buttons, I want to talk about the movement of Mortal Kombat 1. You may be used to in new fighting games where you press forward and back. You can kind of get your character to just instantly. Mortal Kombat 1 has a step to it. So if I just barely tap, you'll see he takes a step, right? And step back, step forward. And that duration of that step, you can't move in any other direction. So if I press forward back really quick, okay, or back forward, you notice you didn't see the back or the forward, right? If I press forward up or forward down, you see that? So that little window of time there, you can't duck, for instance. Like if someone's throwing a fireball and you were stepping back and you tried to duck, boom, it's gonna take a second, okay? So I want to explain a couple of things about that. First is that it's consistent. The entire cast does this. This is something that's different in Mortal Kombat 2. In Mortal Kombat 2, every character still has this sort of step, except for the ninjas. So Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Reptile, and Mileena and Katana all do this very twitchy kind of thing, and I'll show that. But so it is a disadvantage in one way, because if somebody's throwing a fireball and you took a step, right there, I pressed down right after I threw that fireball. But he didn't duck, so you do have to block. Now blocking or doing any attack during a step will interrupt that step. You don't have to wait for him to finish. So if I press forward low punch real quick, or forward block, you see you can cancel it. So if you need to duck, you do need to hit block and then duck right after it. Other movement stuff, you can jump straight up, press up back, you do a flip, up forward, then there's ducking. Now, on the original, and I can show this here, it also shows it here. You see, you say move, flip, jump, flip, move, and duck. So in Mortal Kombat, there really isn't a down back or a down forward in theory. Okay? So, let me show you something too. Now we all should know in fighting games the fireball motion, right? In Street Fighter, Hadouken, right? So you start from down and you rotate to forward. You start here and rotate. Boom, boom, boom. And you press punch. And you can do that in here. Hold on, let me rotate like this. Okay? So I can do a nice smooth rotation just like a Ryu fireball and get the ice, okay? But in Mortal Kombat, the actual input is down forward. So it's just down forward low punch. And you gotta do it kind of quick though. A little hard one-handed. There we go. Down forward. See if I can do it better with this hand. Down forward. Oh. I know. I need a tripod, right? So it's literally down forward low punch. Damn it. I'm doing it way too slow like this. Let me hold this right here with my chin. See that? Down forward. So that's actually what the game's looking for. So diagonal down and diagonal forward don't actually do anything except when it comes to blocking. I'll show you this. Since there's a block button, you don't need a down back, right? And if this thing would focus, it's driving me mad. Okay. There is an instance where when you're crouch blocking, you can be thrown. Okay, you see that? I press low punch on the other side. That's how you throw people, is with low punch. Boom, gets thrown. Okay, now watch this. I'm pressing low punch and he's just pushing him back. The reason is because I'm holding down back and block. Now I don't know if it's intentionally programmed like that or if it's a glitch, but if you hold down back while you block, you cannot be thrown. At least not by an actual human player. Now, Mortal Kombat's known for breaking the rules when it comes to the AI, but that's the only instance that I am currently thinking where a diagonal actually does something. There's one other with Kano's special move, but basically, let me reset real quick and go back, start over. So, uh-oh, what's going on with my monitor up here? I got a little discoloration. It's supposed to be bright green. Because I just actually did a little repair on my monitor. It's looking a little darker on the left here. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Well, at least it's working. The vertical sync was out on it. I had to do a lot of cleaning and resoldering of a wire. But anyway, let's get to it now. Sorry for this long drawn out thing. So you got four attacks. So here they are standing. When you duck, both punches do the same thing, both kicks do the same thing. When you jump, your jump punch and your jump flip punch, they're the exact same move. So all of your jump punches, no matter which button or which direction, they're the same. Straight up kick does the same thing with both high kick and low kick, but doing a flip does a different kick. Next is your proximity moves. I guess I should do next. So you've jumped, you've stood, you've jumped, you've crouched. Well, I should say next is back and low kick is your sweep. Back and high kick is your hook kick. Some people like to call it a roundhouse. And then you've got your moves that when you're close. So if you press high punch when you're close, it's an elbow strike, it's a headbutt, etc. low punch is your throw, and then both high kick or low kick, they do a knee. I love this move, and they changed it a little bit in MK2, but it hits a ducking character, and it's consistent in this game. Doesn't matter who's doing a knee or who's ducking, it will hit them. So you've got that. Then obviously blocking. So you just hold the block button, or you hold the block button and crouch. That's your blocking. Something that's interesting with blocking though. Let me hold the thing with my elbow. If somebody blocks 6 attacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you see that? It doesn't matter what 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, you may have seen it when you're playing, and you get this kind of, and you get pushed back. That's what that is. There's a certain number of hits. Fuck, I'm not trying to throw them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see how we both got pushed back. So it's in there to try to alleviate some of the pressure, like push them back, get the character away from you a little bit.
Johnny Cage wins.
Let's see what else. What else? I know I'm gonna forget stuff. So yeah, blocking, crouch blocking. There is a interesting thing with blocking, and that is that you do recover from a crouching block a little faster. And it's kind of hard for me to show right now, but if, for instance, Raiden's doing his little torpedo move and you block it and you're standing, by the time you recover from it and you throw a projectile, you don't hit him. But if you crouch, you recover way quicker. So yeah, then we get into special moves and stuff, which you can obviously look that stuff up online as far as like what's the move list. So Johnny Cage, back forward low punch, back forward low kick, and then low punch plus block at the same time. And then of course you get into fatalities and stuff, which we can go over those as well. But mostly I just want people to be able to play it and understand it a little bit. Man, that thing with the monitor is bugging me. It might not show up that well on the video, but you can tell right here, it's a little dark. I don't know. I don't think it was like that. See, I'm starting to lose green. It's starting to, Oh well. So Kano, it's all the same stuff. This is the nice thing though with Mortal Kombat, is it's gonna be all the same stuff. High punch, low punch, high kick, low kick. When you're close and press high punch, he's got a headbutt instead of an elbow. Low punch is a throw. High kick and low kick, either one does the knee. Same stuff with Sub-Zero. He's got a high punch, low kick, high kick. You know, he's got the close range, he's got the throw, he's got the knee. So once you know that basic thing, you're gonna know how to at least do the normal moves with everybody, even if you don't know the special moves. There's a few little interesting things with the damage, and certain things have a little bit longer range. You know, certain characters can do certain things that others can't, but they basically have the same moves, like the jump punch, right? Like something him, Johnny Cage, and Raiden can do is do a jump punch on the way up, which I'm gonna try to do one-handed. See that? You do it as soon as you come off the ground. You can get it. A character like Sub-Zero, Sonya can't do that. They punch way too high when they come off the ground. You see how high he already is. So there's little things like that, or how the characters fall is a little different. So you can actually get some interesting combos on Kano and Raiden that you might not be able to get on Sub-Zero because of how they fall back. If I can kind of show you. Kano kind of like lays down flat, and Sub-Zero, his legs come straight up, so you can't really catch him on some things. Trying to think if there's any other real basic stuff I wanted to talk about. As far as move lists, I mean, I can ramble it off real quick. I'll put a little tag here, but actually one thing I wanted to talk about before we do that is this is an interesting thing. So Johnny Cage, his fireball, back, forward, low punch, right? You gotta do it kind of quick, back, forward, low punch. 1, 2, 3, okay? But you can also press back and then press forward and low punch. So it's 1, 2. Instead of 1, 2, 3, it's 1, 2. Might not be important, but you know how we are. The fighting game community, everything's about micro milliseconds, you know, like one frame, this and that. So maybe it means something, maybe it's important. But it does help, like in Mortal Kombat 2, where Baraka has back, low punch. It kind of saves you an extra back. You can press back, and then back and low punch at the same time. Same with Liu Kang, so we got, let's see, forward high punch, or forward and forward high punch at the same time. Boom, boom. See that? Boom, boom. Instead of boom, boom, boom. Another little interesting thing you can do because of the step that's in here. So if I press forward up, you see, forward down, forward back, it still just shows forward. So in later games, if you're pressing forward to do his fireball or something, you know, forward, people see that. They know it's coming, you know. You're Scorpion and you see the guy back. You know he's prepping the spear. So what you do with Liu Kang is you press back, and then while he's taking a step back, you press forward. And so if I can hold this, hopefully, you can do like, right? So that you take a step back, and then as he's stepping back, you're doing forward. So a lot of times they see the little back and they start to advance. You get them with flying kick. Probably won't matter much now because you're not going to be playing this online, but it's an interesting little thing. What else? Of course, the pit's awesome because all you have to do in this one is an uppercut. There's no special stage fatality input you have to do. You just uppercut the guy and he lands wherever he lands. It's not a scripted thing where he always lands in the same spot. I just love the first pit for that reason. Let's do Kano and Raiden real quick. Kano's special moves. So you hold block, you press back forward. That's how you throw his knife. And you can also do back and then forward and block at the same time. Okay, now his spinning ball, I always knew this in the old days as just rotating, right? Just rotate the stick. And that's how I always did it. But as I say, Mortal Kombat doesn't deal with diagonals. So the actual input is forward, down, back, up. So as soon as you hit up, forward, down, back, up, that's when he does it. You can also hold block, forward, down, back, up, and then whenever you let off a block, he goes. There is a time limit on it, so if you just keep holding block. Now, I think it would have been cool if you could have canceled it, but you can't. So that's kind of a useless move, I feel. Then Raiden, he's got down, forward, low punch, just like Sub-Zero's ice. So you can rotate or you can press down, forward. He's got down, up, which is his teleport. And back, forward. Now, in a previous video that I did just a minute ago, I mentioned how, this is very interesting, I'll mention it in another video actually. I won't go into it now. This stage is the coolest stage though. So we're gonna skip Goro's lair next fight. It's gonna go straight back to the courtyard. What else was I gonna talk about on here? Oh, here's an interesting thing. I was gonna say damage. So uppercuts, 4 uppercuts. Boom, puts you on danger. You see how he has like no health? So uppercuts do the most damage. You got your throws, very comparable. It's like just a drop. I think it's just a drop, less damage. But I've got a whole thing where I've kind of figured out how much damage everything does. Like a blocked uppercut is the same as a low punch, things like that. Okay, test your might. You press low punch and low kick together, and then you press block. But so yeah, it's low punch. You can actually just press one of them. I mean, you're getting half of the energy from it, but you keep pressing the lows and then you hit block. Now, when you get in the later ones, you're going to want to press. When you hit block, don't hit block by itself. Like, don't go top charge, charge, block. When you hit it, hit all 3 together. Because when you hit block, it's still going to register that very last press of the low punch and low kicks. And that's going to usually give you just enough to break it, especially when you get later on. And I find that if you just go like this, and you build that meter up, then it's going to just do like this, and it's going to start dropping down. What you want to do, start off slow, and then right at the end go as fast as possible and hit it. The first time you cross that line, go like chop, 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 bam! And that's how you're gonna break your diamond and your ruby. Okay. I really shouldn't be getting into damage and stuff, but it's interesting stuff. So, Mortal Kombat has chip damage. And Street Fighter had this too. What I mean by chip damage, for anybody who doesn't know. So if a character is blocking, right, and you do an attack, if I can, okay, so I did an attack with high kick, and you see I took damage. So chip damage was in Street Fighter, but it only applied to special moves like fireballs and things like this. In Mortal Kombat, it applies to, yeah, it applies to every move. See? So here's something that's interesting though. A blocked uppercut. You see how much damage that did? In a single punch. You see how we have the same health, right? So blocking an uppercut is equal to getting 1 punch. There's some interesting things. Like Kano and Liu Kang's crouching low kick do way more damage than everybody else. You see how theirs is equal? If I picked any other character, their crouching low kick. See how it's a draw. Yeah, their crouching low kicks do a lot less. Like if you block a crouching low kick, that's pretty comparable to what a crouching low kick hitting somebody will do with somebody else. But yeah, enough with damage. So there's some interesting things too. When somebody's blocking, you're trying to sweep people. You hold down and block. Okay. When you throw a sweep, you're not going to want to sweep here because by the time you've recovered from your sweep, I mean, somebody can uppercut you. So when you do sweeps, you want to try and be further away. Okay, you're still going to get hit by certain moves like Johnny Cage shadow kick or Kano's spin ball, stuff like that, but you're not going to get uppercutted if you're this far away. So same with the low kick. You kind of want to use that as far away as possible or as the very last move because if you use it close, you're just going to get wrecked. So, and then the knee is such a great move. It hits crouching characters. Yeah, it knocks them far away. Now, Sonya's a little different than other characters. She's got some advantages. Well, first off, example, she can't be punched in the crotch when Johnny Cage does his splits, but neither can Johnny Cage. But the original Mortal Kombat, the original version, you couldn't pick the same character, so that was kind of the idea. Just like in Street Fighter II, before Champion Edition came out, you could only one person could be a character. So they had that kind of same idea when they were making this, so they never filmed Daniel Festina getting punched in the junk. So she kind of has that advantage. She has a different kind of kick than everybody else as far as like her, never mind, Johnny's on player too. Backwards. Yeah, she's got some interesting stuff. It's really hard for me to do this, but there's some interesting little details and intricacies with the characters as far as like, when you crouch and block, do you get hit or don't you? Do the fireballs go over the top of you? There's a lot of interesting little things like that. But for now, let's not dig into that. So I was talking a minute about chip damage. So when somebody's blocking, doesn't matter what move you do, you take some kind of damage. Now there's two exceptions to this. One is Sonya's leg grab, which is down, low punch, low kick, and block at the same time. Okay. And this is going to be impossible for me to do. So that's one thing I wanted to show, is that you can't block that leg grab. You have to crouch block it. But when you crouch block it, okay, he doesn't take any chip damage. You see that? Well, that's because the grab itself doesn't do any damage. Watch. It only hurts on the slam, so that's why. Forward, back, block. So that move doesn't do any chip damage, and Sub-Zero's ice doesn't. For the same reason, because the ice itself doesn't do any damage. And as you may have seen when I was doing this before, you can't freeze somebody twice. You get the double ice backfire. Think what else? I know there's going to be so many things that I'll be like, dude, you forgot to talk about that. So double ice backfire. So the way I was actually able to even do her leg grab one-handed while holding block and down with my right arm is same with Sub-Zero's slide. Okay, Sonya's leg grab was down and these three buttons at the same time. Sub-Zero's slide is back and these three buttons at the same time. But the interesting thing about it is that you don't have to press them all at the same time. If I'm holding block, and now I'm holding low punch, and now I'm holding back, as soon as I'm pressing low kick, it does it. You see that? Boom. Or if I'm holding low kick, block, back, and I press low punch. Okay? It's a very interesting move. Now you can't hold all three, attack all buttons and press back. It doesn't do anything. But otherwise, you can. So that's an interesting little thing. I mean, most of the time you're just gonna press all at the same time, but it's an interesting thing to know. And you could do like this. You see, I'm holding everything but block, and then when I press block, boom, it does it. And there's a little bit of a cooldown on the move, so you can't do it back to back to back to back. But the Scorpion's teleport punch, which is down back high punch. You can't do this in the corner, or you can, but you don't go anywhere. Okay. But something that's interesting about his teleport is you can kind of use it as a way to gain distance. So if you don't do it in the corner, you just go backwards. So you can like jump kick somebody. If he blocks, you can do that to sort of retaliate a little bit. And you can get some cool little glitchy stuff. Well, hold on. Don't run out, time. Don't run out. Don't run. Damn it. Alright. I'll get into that stuff later, I guess. I just get real involved and excited about some MK, so... yeah, I mean, that's it. You kind of got the basics. I can show you a little bit about how to play against the computer. Let me, I don't know who to play as. I guess I'll just roll with Sub-Zero. Another cool thing is that you can do fatalities instantly in MK1. So you see that? I actually did that one-handed. So what I was doing there is I'm just pressing high punch. Because his fatality is forward, down, forward, high punch. So the game is going to just look for those inputs. So all I'm doing, I'm already pressing high punch over and over again. Boom, 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 boom. And all I'm doing is alternating between forward and down. And so as soon as it says finish him, the computer goes, oh, I see forward, down, and high punch. And then it does a fatality. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to sit and wait for like... You know, I feel like the newer ones, it says finish him. You have to wait a second before it's going to work. So... yeah, the computer, you can, if you wait when they're at a distance, you can get roundhouse, you can get sweep. First character's usually not that hard, so. The thing is, though, if you get in the corner, it's going to be kind of rough for you. So, and you can do jump kicks and stuff. Mortal Kombat 1's kind of fun to play. It does have a little bit of cheapness to it, but like if you really get in a pinch, you do the old school jump back, jump forward, jump back, jump forward. A lot of times you jump kick, and if they block, they will throw a special move. And when they do that, then you just retaliate. So, but what's nice is the computer will let you hit them with things like his ice. It can actually freeze them. Now, if you freeze them like this, just do a knee or a throw. And if you do your punches really slow, it doesn't push them back. Do your uppercuts with high punch. Don't use low punch, even though low punch works. And it's for two reasons. If you do your uppercuts with low punch, it's going to give you a bad habit when you go to play the other MKs, and you're going to do a crouching low punch. The second is if you're playing Sub-Zero and you mess up when you press down low punch and you accidentally press down forward, you're gonna get another ice. Like you might go, I'm gonna uppercut this guy. Ah, crap, that's what's gonna happen to you. So always best to use high punch for your jump punches. So there's what I'm doing. The high punch is kind of slow. Fast enough to keep alternating between, you know, left punch, right punch, left punch, right punch, but not so fast that it pushes them back. Because just like when you saw when a character blocks, they get pushed back. If you get too many hits in succession, it'll push them back as well. So it's gonna be very hard for me to do slides and stuff with one hand, but you can do some interesting stuff combo-wise against certain characters like Raiden. You can actually, I won't be able to do it now, but you can do a jump kick on the way down and then another one on the way up, which is a lot more damage than just doing a uppercut, but more advanced stuff. And that is the only projectile that's going to ever hit Raiden when he does that. If you're throwing spear, if you're doing Kano's knife, if you're doing Johnny Cage's green whatever, Sonya's rings, those all, he goes underneath those, but not Sub-Zero's ice. Got it. Ali Babale. So as I say, I've played a little bit of this game, I'll be honest, so I'll never claim to be the best at anything, but I have played enough, so now when I get to Goro, I'll probably get my ass kicked, but not with Sub-Zero. There's a nice little loop you can get him in with Sub-Zero. You freeze him, uppercut, slide, and then freeze him as he gets up. You'll freeze him every time. And Liu Kang's always the biggest asshole, I'll be honest. As far as the AI goes, he's usually the biggest jerk. And usually I get stuck with Liu Kang Sonya as the final endurance, so. Do it late. Very hard to do, but if you do the fatality at the last possible moment, it's already saying Sub-Zero wins. It's just kind of neat. Doesn't really do anything different, but there's some cool little things you can do with the fatalities. Kind of style a little bit. One thing I didn't point out in the other thing, and I'll probably mention in another video because this is really supposed to be more of a tutorial, but just that the player 1 and player 2 have different voices. So it's not based on what character you are, it's on what side you're playing on. Player 1 side has a deeper voice. And player 2 is a little higher. Now Liu Kang and Sonya, they have the same voice no matter what. Not the same as each other, but Liu Kang always sounds like Liu Kang, Sonya always sounds like Sonya. Oh no.
Sub-Zero wins.
I think I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention before I end the little basic tutorial. Man, this game just feels good, man, to me. I know a lot of people say it's sluggish, it's not as cool as MK2, but I promise there's some things in here that Mortal Kombat 2 doesn't do as well. Don't get me wrong, I love Mortal Kombat 2. But some of the impacts and things, for instance, your roundhouse, hook kicks, whichever one you're doing, the straight kicks, doesn't matter, just bam, everything's shaking the screen. So like, she stops hitting me. So like that, shaking the screen, the jump punch, right? You can get it. A lot of that stuff doesn't shake the screen in MK2. Pretty much just the uppercut. Just that impact sound. Now with Sonya, if she does that, if she does her leg grab, you have to wait just a second before you try to hit her with an uppercut, or you'll miss. If you do it too quick, it's not going to work. So that's why I did that little bit of a delay there. Try to get away from her. Try to lame her out with the, this is like the desperation go-to tactic there. Jump kicks. Oh no. Yeah, her fireball, by the way, is low punch, back, low punch. Just 1, 2, 3. Very strange input. I'm not sure why they decided that, but that's what it is. So, I guess that's all I really needed to do was just cover the special moves. So one more time. Back forward low punch, back forward low kick, and then low punch plus block. That's his nut punch. Or, yeah. And then Kano. He's going to do hold block, back forward. That's his knife. Forward down, back up. Raiden, back forward. Is his torpedo. Down up, teleports. Down forward is his lightning. Then Liu Kang, very simple. Full forward high punch for the fireball. Full forward high kick for the flying kick. Scorpion is back low punch. His teleport is down back high punch. Sub-Zero, you got down forward low punch. You got back low punch. Block low kick for the slide. Sonya is down low punch, block, and low kick all at the same time for the leg grab. You got forward back high punch, which does the little square wave they call it. She goes up, comes across, and then low punch back low punch for the fireball. Fatalities are pretty simple in this one. Johnny Cage, forward high punch. Kano, you can rotate it, but really the input is back, down, forward, low punch. Raiden is forward, it's back 3 times, and then high punch. So I always counted it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So forward, back, high punch. Liu Kang, you just rotate clockwise. So if you're on this side, rotate like that. And if you're on that side, rotate like that, counterclockwise. Basically going from your head to the front of your body, to your feet. That's the direction. You can hold block when you do it. You can just do it. You can be doing punches while you do it. It doesn't matter. Scorpion is just up, up. It's usually listed as block, up, up. That's so that you don't jump. So what you'll do is you'll stand right about here as Scorpion. Hold block, press up, up, or you can just be doing punches and be pressing up, or you can jump and you can keep pressing jump, or you can press down and then up twice. That'll work. Just whatever, as long as his foot is on the ground, when you press up the second time, it'll do a fatality. I'll show that in a second. Sub-Zero, forward, down, forward, high punch. So literally just forward, down, forward, high punch. You can do it slow, you can do it fast. Don't go too slow though.
Sub-Zero with
and all of these need to be done close, except for Scorpions. You can do Sonya's anywhere. It's forward, back, block. You can do it absolutely anywhere. Liu Kang's you can do anywhere. It just won't hit them. I'll show that too. But yeah, Scorpion is just up, up. So you can really tap forward into position, and because of that step that I was talking about, so I press forward up. You see I don't do anything. So I press forward up, up. And that second up that jumped just now, that'll actually trigger the fatality, and then there you go. You can also do some other cool stuff, like you can finish a fight with a teleport. Boom, and you see where he's standing? It's perfect. So you can do a teleport punch as the last move and be pressing up, up, and boom, fatality right there.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
A lot of cool stuff you can do with that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting more advanced than I should at the moment. You can also do this cool one too. You can also throw them, and the throw puts them in the right position. So I'm going to throw, and I'm going to just pressing up afterwards. That's why I love these fatalities in this game, because you can do stupid cool stuff like that. Like I've got like 4 or 5 different ways that I can do, set up that fatality and do it instantly, and it's just, I don't know, it just feels good, you know? I don't know, I guess I really need to end this tutorial video, I guess. I say there'll probably be stuff that I'm thinking of later, like, oh man, I should have mentioned that, but I think for now, that's it. Thanks for watching.